Sup guys, I'm Nelson Metalhead and I'm doing 150 classic albums by the end of the year, and I'm also doing Patreon requests. I would also probably consider this to be a classic album. I had enough buzz around it when I first started this channel, and it seems like it has enough of a cultural moment, and Yeat is enough of an influential figure for this to be considered a classic. It was also, requested by a Patreon member, and because I enjoyed Up To Me a decent amount, and I enjoyed Dangerous Summer a lot, so most people were asking me to do 2 Alive or 29.3, but 29.3 is the only one that was requested by my patrons, which is mostly all I'm listening to at the moment is Patreon requests, because I want to fulfill all of those, because my lovely supporters are amazing. So if you want me to see 2 Alive, I would just need one person to request that. But yeah, I'm curious to jump into it. I know that there's like a new Yeat and old Yeat. I know Dangerous Summer is new Yeat, but I don't know where old Yeat stops. Does it stop at 29.3? Is 2 Alive old Yeat? Is 29.3 old Yeat? I have no idea. I'm assuming this is more towards new Yeat and more mainstream sound, so, and less away from like the classic rage that he was doing. But yeah, let's find out. Let's do it. My lyrics aren't working. I tried to uninstall and reinstall the app, but didn't work.
Yeah, my diamond jump. Yeah, my diamond talk. Yeah, my money long. Yeah, my money talk. Heard his stylist guy. Heard you trying to come rock with us. Wanna know who you are? Let's get disrespectful. Let's get disrespectful. You better have some respect. When you type of man, I'ma cut you off. Cut you off and talking to me. Cut you out my car. Cut you out my life. Where my scissors at? Where my Twizzlers at? Put my motherfucking army when I need that. I'm the realest in this game, you know I bleed that. When we pull up, we could say where your seats at. I'm in 2093, where your life at? Where your diamond clean like me, but can you wipe that? I don't need a hammer gun, you know I slice that. Yeah, I'll punch him on this bit, I fucking knife that. We got G-Wagons.
It's very Travis Scotty, which I feel like is like his newer sort of flavor, right? Again, he's always had a bit of that, but it feels like leaning less away from like, I guess like Cardi, rage sort of stuff, and more towards a sort of Travis Scott sound. At the start, I wasn't. I know, I was like a bit, ooh, do I like this? But the more this goes on, it's like, I really like this sort of sound.
Yeah, my diamond jump. Yeah, my diamond talk. Yeah, my money long. Yeah, my money talk. Heard his stylist guy. Heard you trying to come rock with us. Wanna know who you are? Let's get disrespectful. Let's get disrespectful. You better have some respect. When you type the bed, I'ma cut you off. Cut you off and talking to me. Cut you out my car. Cut you out my life. Where my scissors at? Where my Twizzlers at? Where my motherfucking army when I need that? I'm the realest in this game, you know I bleed that. When we pull up, we could say where your seats at. I'm in 2093, where your life at? Where you diamond clean like me, but can you wipe that? I don't need a hammer gun, you know I slice that. Yeah, I'll push him on this bit, I fucking knife that. Yeah, my diamond jump.
I find this to be very interesting. I'll talk more about it in a sec. Like once, just to experience the song and then chat about it in a minute.
Let's get disrespectful. Let's get disrespectful. You better have some respect. When you type the bed, I'ma cut you off. Cut you off and talking to me. Cut you out my car. Cut you out my life.
Huh. It feels so interesting to see this melding. Well, like Dangerous Summer feels like him going full mainstream, right? And this feels like a bit of a mix between his older, more like rage rooted sound to like what would end up being on like Dangerous Summer, right? Listening to this is really interesting because it feels like it's leaning a bit more into like the Travis Scott sort of stylings that he had before, but it also keeps a bit of like that rage aesthetic. I know it's not rage, but bear with me for a second for my explaining my thoughts, I guess. But when you go to like the rage stuff, you have these like abrasive, staticky sort of sounds, right? And they're usually like quite harsh. It sounds like electricity, like I don't know, getting shocked by a fucking laser in like Doom or some shit, right? And they sound very scratchy and stuff. And every single element of rage and that sound, it feels like he's replaced it but with like a mainstream genre. So like the way that he's using like that same sort of effect when it comes to trying to get across like this like trippy rage sort of sound, instead of using like the usual like underground sort of beats, he's going towards like more mainstream sort of genres. Like it sounds like he's doing more like a normal electronic sort of stuff, trying to get that same sort of vibe. It's like the construction of the songs still feel basically the same as what he was doing before, but he's just like taking it out and putting in something different. Like think of like a song structure of, let's say, a traditional pop record, like a Frank Sinatra. It's like if that entire song was the same, but then you just like took out the vocal style, like that vocal styling, and put in like a more up-to-date modern version of what someone would sing, but still fit the same sound and vibe, if that makes sense. Like it just feels like an updated mainstream version of everything he was doing prior, and he's just like plugging in more accessible genres that people are more used to, but still keeping the same essence in a lot of ways. If you haven't watched one of my videos before, by the way, these are my ratings on the side. I do it so you can see what my ratings are if I talk about a song, and sometimes I'm not as eloquent as I would want to be. So I will talk about a song and I give it like a 6 or a 9 or something like that, and it didn't come across that way. It's for that, so you can see my ratings at the end of every song. I listen to these projects multiple times over. This is the first listen, and when I listen to these projects multiple times over, the ratings can change, and I post my updated ratings on Discord, where you can talk to me about my reviews, my ratings, and then on my album of the year, I write a written review alongside every single album that I react to, and yeah, you can see my written review of that sort of thing. There's also on my album of the year, if you look at my favorites at the top of the page, you can see the next 5 YouTube uploads. It gives you a nice little sneak peek on what's coming next on my YouTube to try and get that nice cross-pollination. Also, my average rating is a 6 out of 10. I try and get a 5 out of 10, but I'm requested albums that I enjoy. And I'm mostly listening to albums from my Patreon because I'm trying to fulfill their requests instead of just listening to stuff I want to do. And if I'm being honest, it kind of helps because I like doing the albums that the Patrons send in. So it's usually going to be stuff that is decent. They're not going to send me a bunch of stuff that tortures me. So I end up listening to more good stuff than bad. The reason why I say that, like, I think I should have a 5 out of 10 average is if I just picked albums equally distributed of quality, I think it would be a 5 out of 10. Because if something is a 5.1, that means I liked it more than I disliked it. And I feel like a lot of people don't do that. And there's even like albums that are 4 out of 10s that I don't actually hate. Like there's some like 5 Seconds of Summer albums I've done that are 4 out of 10s. It's like, I don't hate these records. Same with like No Superhero by Margins or something like that. I think I gave that a 4.7. I didn't hate the album. I actually quite liked some of the stuff on there. But yeah, I try and get a 5 out of 10. So with all of that being said, I think this is like a 7.5 at the moment. It was leaning towards 8. Like I was thinking like, damn, this is pretty great. And if this is like the quality of the songs that he has on the rest of this album, I wouldn't be surprised if I'm a new Yeat fan. Because I've definitely liked Dangerous Summer a shit ton. I wouldn't be surprised if this goes into the same sort of realms and I like it as much as that project. It gets higher ratings than Up To Me. I wonder what Tour Live will do as well, but only time will tell. So yeah, let's go into the next track. Let's see if the lyrics will work. My bet is they won't. I like this more like horns. I like the horns here. It feels like a more mature sound. I don't mean that would like to negatively load the other songs, but That's nice.
I wonder what you could have hid and what you could have said. It's not a lot of people like us, so I have respect. But don't come talking at your neck unless you love me dead. I might go crazy on my head.
It really does feel like he's coming into his own here, like as like an actual mainstream artist. Says the main genre is still rage, but it's such a unique style.
Go tell me just don't lie. Well, tell me when you lie. Don't tell me when you cry. Just sit for me when you die. I don't search for nothing. I'm not one to go and pry. But
I really like his vocals here. Also, the distortion is nice.
Leave you blind for life. It only takes one time. It only takes a night. I brought a big ARL.
It feels so tasteful.
I'ma kill you nice and quick. That's kind of kind.
Well, like underground sounds usually feels like they're trying to like find a weakness in the genre that's not being explored as much. This feels like honing it.
I'm on a pie trip. You don't have to say what you did. I already know before you said. Push a bunch of instruments and let me play.
Ooh, I like how punchy those bass hits are.
Somebody getting saved tonight. Somebody getting played tonight. Got a very bad but very good mind. A whole lot of things look worse in the light. And a whole lot get worse when you try. That's why I'll let a lot of things fly. If I could, then I would. I don't never get stuck to a thing unless it's good. Is it good for me or bad for you?
It's a bit more low key, but I like a lot of the sounds that's happening. It's a lot deeper, which like nulls the detail a bit, but like I don't mind it.
Till it's over. Wait, till it's over. Wait, till it's over.
Yeah, it's not as polished as the first track, but I still like it. Ooh, interesting bass switch at the last minute here. He had a lot of ideas here. I'm conflicted on this track because I like everything that's happening. I think everything happening is good, but it feels like as like a holistic piece, it's a bit chaotic. Like it wants to do so many things. I feel like it should just pick with one or two of the tracks, like one or two of the ideas. But I like it. It's really pretty. I think his voice is gorgeous. I'm thinking between 6.5, 7. I don't know. But there's... I'm assuming this is a transition into the next track, which is a fucking banger, it seems. How do I feel on it? I'll give it a 6.5. But it's like, that's a strong 6.5, I want to say. Like, I think it's a decent and good track. I just think, like, all of the, as I said, like, all of the sum of the parts, really good. Like, but how it all goes together, it feels like it's wanting to do too many things at once. Like, oh, we have, like, a minute of this thing, and then we're chucking in a minute of this thing. And it's like, it is chaotic, and I can understand how someone could, like the eclectic nature of that. But I feel like if he just honed in on one thing, it didn't allow for the parts to breathe as much as I would like. Because each part was nice. Like, he had nice vocals, the beats were nice, the atmosphere was nice, but it just felt like it was too fleeting. Like, this track was basically 4 mini interludes put together, instead of, like, a cohesive unit. But I liked it. Like, the start, you had, like, these nice horns and stuff like that, a bit jazzy. And then it goes into another thing. I think there was, like, genuinely like 4 different parts of this song. Bit over-egging the pudding maybe a bit, but I still think it's good. I still think it's good. So yeah, let's go into the next track. Again, what? Alright, I guess that's the 5th part of that song. Like, why did it not transition into this? I know at least it's like a lower sound, so it does transition a bit, but it didn't. It just sounded like it would be a transition. Ooh.
I was bored by the shit, made $1 billion. Now fuck that bitch, I need $1 Now fuck that bitch, I need to feel it.
His voice sounds fucking sick here.
I will never give you time to I will never give a fuck if it I don't really give a fuck about you. You need a chick, you need to breathe. I'ma ask you to leave. Yeah, my money's so deep.
I think how his vocals sound on this track might be one of my favorite vocals in like rap. Like that breathe vocal. Ooh.
Hold your breath till you pass out. I hope the day you crash out. I recommend you cash out. Heard you went up, now you going down. Now you know I don't stress. I could not care less. But you know I'm the best. Got them turning their heads. I know I'm an asshole. I know when I dip and go. I know when I lose control. Got the system all overload. I don't fuck
That's
with
the lyrics
like
right here.
they ain't fuck with me, so it's fake love. I want to shake your hand, bitch, you need glove. Wash the blood off my hands, I need dove. I said fuck love, bitch, you need tub. I make fuck ton of money, make none. I hit home runs, bitch, you better bun. I don't breathe cause it's fun. I was bored by the jet, made $1 billion. Now fuck that bitch, I need $1 Now fuck that bitch, you need to feel it. Made me so damn mad, made me feel it. I will never give you time to I will never give a fuck if it I don't really give a fuck about you. You need a chick, you need to breathe. I'ma ask you to leave. Yeah, my money's so deep.
See, this is like basically one idea throughout the entire track, and it just fucking works. Like the haha breathe, and then just having like a normal track that he's dealing with after it. It just like adds like yeah, it's a cool creative idea with like a relatively normal beat track, and it really excels. Where like the last track had too many things, but it's just amazing. I love it.
I hope the day you crash out. I recommend you cash out. Heard you went up, now you going down. Now you know I don't stress. I could not care less. But you know I'm the best.
I'm a fucking fan of like. There's a difference with like when I'm listening to a lot of artists. There are artists that I enjoy reacting to and I enjoy listening to, but that like I'm not technically a fan. Like I'm not hooked just yet. It's like I can see the remnants of where I could be hooked, but I'm not hooked as a fan just yet. If he made like Dangerous Summer, I kind of felt like, ooh, I was getting to that point with Yeat now, where it's like I think that's a great record. If he just does a shit ton of songs like this, it's like, yeah, I'm a fan of Yeat. Whatever fucking vibe of this Yeat is, like his voice here, fan of you, bro. Like more, if there's a billion songs like this, I'll be a fan for a billion songs alone. Like it's just so sick. Yeah. Fucking amazing song. It's a bit quiet, weirdly enough. But I don't know if that's just like a me issue, but I'm using the same headset and everything. So. I like this, like, it really fits the vibe of the fucking album cover. Like, this is like cyberpunky sort of energy to it, like futuristic, which makes sense, 2093 and all, but he really does delve into that sound. Ooh. Ooh. This is such like a conceptual album, which is from an artist I did not think would do conceptual shit. Like, there's not an instantaneous payoff, right? But like a lot of underground stuff is like, here's your quick dopamine fix, and I mean, I don't even mean that in a bad way, but like, I like how there's like a meat to this bone, and there's really like a payoff
Remind me of myself
building up.
when I lose control. I can lose control. I'm a CEO. You can't lose control, shit, cause you don't have self-control. And every time you thought you wanted something, you needed more. And then they're coming right back at you, throw you overboard. Yeah, coming at the woods at your yellow Ford. Making $1 trillion money in his fucking Forbes. I'm a selfish fuck, yeah, I need more. Wanna see you when you're down, wanna see who bleed more. I piss, that means I'm a rich fuck. In the reach, climbing with a big truck. No, you can't get in with us, you a stupid fuck. And it's all the times when you run with us. Look at the color on the moves and they can't talk to us. You can't talk to us. You can talk to a picture, you can talk through us. Yeah, I'ma hit it deep, but I'ma hit it scuba. I don't like to see. I can't believe it's free.
I'm actually not sure if I like the first song or this one more, because I've only heard the first song for once, so I need to. But like, this feels like a great fucking track. I really love the atmosphere and like being, like, very, again, tasteful is the word that comes to mind. Like a very tasteful usage of like the industrial elements here to make this like landscape. It like really does make me think of this like cyberpunky world that he is depicting on the album cover. It's sick. What a sick idea, dude. I'm really excited to see like the rest of Yeat's career, because like this is a fucking, it's very cool. Again, trying to see if the lyrics will fucking work. Again, this sounds so pretty. Like it's, my brain always is just going to tasteful. Like the way he's using electronic industrial sounds with what he's doing. It's like no one does this. Like I haven't heard any other like rage artist that has similar shit. He seems like a fucking pioneer in that regard, right? Like what a sick cunt.
Yeah, no, it's not all great, but I love feeling this way.
Oh, this is gorgeous. Like the vocals in the back. Who's producing this shit?
I like a mixture off the drugs, but I miss some. I tried to warn you about this shit, but you ain't listen anyway. I'm in 2093 all day.
Different producers all the thing. Who's the executive producer, dude? They don't want to kill a job.
Am I wrong for putting me first? And I know why you confused. I got away with words. Is it money? Is it power? Which one first? I make more money than you ever did. I make a lot more money than you, bitch. I might start talking crazy.
Bro, I'll actually just say, I'm a fucking Yeat fan now, dude.
I don't hear a word when you talk. I know that this word could be a lot. I know more than anybody else. I know when you do it, you a mess. Tell me when you lie, tell me when you cry, but look me in the eye. I'm a busy guy, I'm out here betting life. No regard for life, I roll it on the dice. Don't tell me twice, put it on the, fuck that, put it on your life. You want a fairy tale life, you want me to tuck you in bed, read your books all night.
This is fucking amazing.
I know it's always changing every turn. I'll never look back on the bridge I burned.
Oh.
I'll tell you one thing that's weight the word. Making out his money enough to buy the earth. I bought the earth, I sold it too.
I love this song.
I say your whole life, if I could too. You can't fit in a pair of shoes. I'm a pandemic, always on the news. When it comes night, always on the loose. When it comes night, what you gonna do? I don't need the light, I see right through. I see your reflection in my review. Damn, what a good view. Damn, what we could do. Damn, I'm paranoid and rude. Damn, more disrespectful than you thought you knew.
It's just so fucking amazing. And I'm trying to think of like another artist I can compare to in like the modern era that is as like creative when it comes to the usages of genres and stuff like that, to be able to like create a world when it comes in this like similar lane of like a hip-hop artist, right? Because like it doesn't feel, it feels like worlds apart to be like, oh, a T-Pap or something like that, or like Good Kid, Mad City, because that's more like traditional, right? So it makes me think like, oh, I have to go into a lane of the non-traditional, like Kendrick's within the traditional. You have like, if you want to go other sides, you could do like other trap artists like Future and stuff like that, Rodeo. I think this builds a better world. I think it's a bit more, I think it's creative, more creative than it. My brain has to go to like Kanye, I guess, because he is a very creative individual with his many different albums and different styles. But does he really create the same level of world? He creates the same level of wonder. And by the way, I still probably would have most of Kanye's albums above this project in saying this. I'm just trying to find an artist that it feels as creative as this when it comes to like a sonic storytelling palette in the modern era. And it feels very hard to find it. In this sort of lane, not like a traditional hip hop artist. I struggle. I haven't heard Lil Uzi Vert. So if any of you want to sub to my Patreon to request me a Lil Uzi Vert, I can chuck that on. But I've heard like Playboi Carti. I think this is a more poignant than Playboi Carti. Playboi Carti has like a bit of like an absurdism to him, right? So this feels more purposeful. If I think of other artists, Travis Scott is obviously the artist that he like is massively influenced by, it seems. But I would say this feels more poignant. I didn't know Yeat had this in him, because like, from my understanding, I've only listened to Rodeo by Travis Scott. So, or if Astroworld goes into a different thing, fair. But like, Travis Scott doesn't feel as world buildy as this album feels to me. I didn't know that was in Yeat's fucking bag. So it doesn't feel like a perfect comparison. I'm just trying to find someone that's able to do like a world like this. It's really nice, like the concept of like with the 2093 and then building this like futuristic world within the music with industrial hip hop with like fucking a bit of rage and all that. It's like, this is a genuinely unique fucking effort. Like, I struggle to find another artist that does something similar, and I'm not even trying to think of like rage artists or artists that are adjacent to like psychedelic trap or some shit. I'm just trying to think modern non-traditional hip hop. Who does it? I haven't listened to enough Peggy. Maybe JPEG Mafia does it. I'm actually about to listen to a JPEG Mafia. I laid down my life for you, so I'm impressed with that. So maybe Peggy does it. I don't think Denzel does it. Like, I struggle like when I'm really thinking. I haven't done Taboo by Denzel, so maybe that does it. But like, this is fucking incredible. Like, it's genuinely like really creative. I love it. I would be shocked at the end of this if this isn't my highest rated Yeat album. If it isn't, spiritually it is, I think, because Dangerous Summer might have like a better average track rating, which is what I do for my album ratings, but it's a shorter project. This is a lot more ambitious, so it's a lot more like an 8 here means more than an 8 on like A Dangerous Summer. I just really like it.
Live a lot of life now, things change. A lot of things change, people don't change. I just spent $250,000 on a fucking chain. I just spent $250,000 on that fucking plane. I just spent $500,000 on the cuddling. I just spent $250,000 on the butler, man. Yeah, covering my face like Jimmy Butler, man. Yeah, I can couple watch move. We go band for band, we go bill for bill. Yeah, we don't link it bill, we make buildings build. Dystopian society on Silent Hill. I just wanna feel things, I wanna feel real. I wanna feel like normal human, don't want pop a pill. I wash my hands of all the blood and then I keep it real. Just tell me how you feeling. When you come inside this building, tell me how you feeling. I don't wanna hear your lies, I wanna hear how you feeling. How you really feeling and how you really dealing. All the stress you say you occupy your mind clearly. I don't know nobody at all, not even.
It's a bit of a step back, like a tiny bit, but like, it's still alright. The fuck is ABM? Used to be pumping Fergie shit like she was fucking candy. I'm gonna call up Elon Musk and ask him where we landed. I just called her SpaceX and ask him where my planet. I can't listen to what you said, I told you to fucking candy. The vibe is way too real, but now I understand it. Underestimated you, but now I understand it. I can't listen to no music, I can't fucking stand it. Pop so many eggs, pills, I don't know how I'm standing. When you live like me so much and then you understand.
back, don't take it. I see that there's things that I can't explain, but I did it, there's things that can push you away. And I know it's not for me, cause I'm out of the way. When I live like this, you know that you never could stay. And I take it all too seriously, I never complain. But I lived a lot of life, so I can't complain. Live a lot of life, now things change. A lot of things change, people don't change. I just spent $250,000 on a fucking chain. I just spent $250,000 on that fucking plane. I just spent $500,000 on the colony. I just spent $250,000 on the butler man. Yeah, covering my face like Jimmy Butler man. Yeah,
I'm gonna look up who's the executive producer is.
We'll go band for band, we go bill for bill. Yeah, we don't link and bill, we make buildings build. Dystopian society on Silent Hill. I just wanna feel things, I wanna feel real. I wanna feel like normal.
Yeat, Starboy. If it's mostly Yeat, which there's so many different producers across the record, if it's mostly Yeat, no idea he had this in him. This one's even a tiny bit lower, but like there's a 7.5, and honestly, when I'm re-listening, I'll probably give Psycho CEO even higher. Power Trip might stay the same because of how messy it is, but like, if this is like a low point in the album, this fucking project's gonna be absolutely incredible. Also, the feat, if he's able to pull this off for 22 tracks, like that is a wide breadth of shit to be able to pull out. I'm already impressed, but like there is like even more room to be impressed by this project.
I know you say you love me, I know you think you different. I know you think you get a lot of money, you ain't got no women. I know you say you got them finest cars, you ain't got no engine. You say you got this lifestyle, but lifestyle ain't with you. I know you think you know better. I know you think you know better. I know you think you know better. I think by now you should know better. No talk about me, yeah, I'm a fiend, I need everything, money, cars, things I need. I can help you see, I can help you breathe, I could. But I don't give no fucks about nobody but me, cause I should. And I could, if I would. In the field with some snakes in their bite. And I would, if I could. If I may, could I ask if I should? On this life, you could never get enough. On the bill, you could never feel numb. Making money, it feels so good. Doing things that you never should. I just went rogue. Yeah, don't call on my phone. Don't text me about shit. Yeah, I don't wanna know. No, I don't wanna know how far you go, how low you could go. I don't wanna hear if you live like me, do you lose control? I don't wanna hear if in 2093 we all know. I don't wanna hear if you never me, no, I won't hear your song. I know you say you love me, I know you think you different. I know you think you get a lot of money, you ain't got no women. I know you say you got them finest cars, you ain't got no engine. You say you got this lifestyle, but lifestyle ain't with you. I know you think you know better. I know you think you know better. I know you think you know better. I think by now you should know better. And I could, if I would, in the field with some snakes in their bite. And I would, if I could, if I may, could I ask if I should? On this life, you could never get enough. On the bill, you could never feel numb. Making money, it feels so good. Doing things that you never should.
it's just like, it's just so fucking good. I'm sorry, I was looking up a bunch of shit. This is at least an 8.5. It's probably gonna go up higher on re-listens, but I was just looking up like Yeat, because I've heard that he was spicy white, right? And he's not just spicy white, because he's I think quarter or half Mexican, because I think his grandmother is Mexican, right? But that other part of white, his other half of white, is traditionally, I feel like in the Western world, that if you're not in Europe, you don't understand a bit that much. I'm Australian, so I didn't understand. I had to look it up, right? But his mother, I think it is Romani. If you know anything about Romani, holy fuck, they're like the most oppressed people in Europe, bar none. That are like native to Europe, right? The Romani people genocided throughout history, religiously, and to this day, they're fucking hated, right? I looked up the polling. I tried to find like similar polling on other racial groups to be able to figure it out, but there, I remember seeing this poll and it kind of just like went fucking crazy to me. There are overall Europeans said when they're polling for like prejudice towards Romani people, 25% of them said that they would be uncomfortable having a Romani person as a neighbor, which kind of fucking crazy, right? And in some European countries, that's as high as 50%. And to pull out similar, I guess, similar polls in 1963, so just before civil rights was enacted in America, right? 78% of white people said they'd be uncomfortable with a black neighbor. So the discrepancy, like in Italy, 50%. In broader European culture, 25%, compared to the 78% of Jim Crow America. Yeah, the level of like persecution that Romani people is actually kind of fucking crazy. So the reason I was thinking all of this is just like, damn, why is always the best fucking music possible made by people who have like quite a strong tie to like oppression and like that sort of lineage? Because this shit's just so fucking good. And sorry to make it a bit racial, I guess, but like I was just looking it up and then I saw because I remember people saying like, I'm like, is Yeat white? I'm like, no, basically this is my internal dialogue. I was like, is Yeat white? Because it's very rare for like a white artist to come into hip hop and actually feel like they are creating something that's like incredibly unique. It's like you can kind of say that about Eminem, I guess. But like you try and find other ones. It's pretty hard, right? And I'm like, oh, is Yeat white? And I'm like, oh, I've heard him called spicy white. So then I looked up, all right, he's like a quarter to half Mexican. And then I saw that the other half was like the literal most persecuted white people. And it's like, okay. Because it's very hard to, and I'm wondering if there's like, it is just like a broad sort of thing people talk about, a like trend that white people don't make that crazy of music, especially in like black art. They're not that creative to be able to spark waves and shit like that. Like, think any of the major genres, was it a white person that created it? No. And then like the worst sort of rappers and stuff that we hear about like today in 2010s, back in 2010s, was people that were only influenced by Eminem. So there's that sort of thing in hip hop culture where like white people don't necessarily make a lot of creative stuff. And thinking about like, why is that? And then looking at like Yeat, who's like in a pretty unique position when it comes to like his ancestry and shit like that. And it's like, if you look into any like really fucking top tier art, it usually seems like it stems from people that have struggled. And it's interesting. And it's also in ways that you wouldn't expect. Like, sorry for this bit of a yap, but like Miles Davis Kind of Blue, for example, in 1958, like the peak of fuck it, like that, obviously it goes without saying, facing a shit ton of oppression at that point in time. And he made such beautiful, pretty art. And I remember talking about it in my reaction to that one, which you can find on my Patreon. It's like, why did he make such pretty art? Like, if I was subjugated and shit like that, I feel like I would make like really aggressive art. Granted, they weren't allowed to, basically, societally, like they would get too much stigma. But it's like, for me, I feels like there would be a lot more of like a punk energy involved with like the stuff if I was making art, that I would have to try and get like my anger out in some other way. So to be able to transform it into something that's really pretty is interesting. But anyway, besides the point, it's like a lot of the best art that throughout history is based from people that have like ancestry that is rough, or they faced rough circumstances themselves. And I don't know, I found it interesting with like Yeat, where like that seems like a relatively similar example. I don't know how he grew up. I didn't look up actually, did he grow up rich or whatever. I also want to know more about Yeat. Where the fuck did he come from? Like, what was his blow up moment? Because I swear, the first time I ever saw him was on a Channel 5 video where it was like a Utah music festival or something, and Yeat was there, and there was a bunch of kids fucking screaming. And I think this was like 2020, something like that. Where did he come from? Because he kind of just seemed like he burst on the scene instantaneously, and there was no build up. It was like as soon as I heard about Yeat, he was massive. And usually I hear rumblings, like it's like Billie Eilish. I remember hearing like listening to like Bellyache or some shit like that, and then seeing her blow up. I remember like with Cardi, it used to get spoken about a bit during like late 2010s, stuff like that, and then blew up with Whole Lotta Red even more. It's like Yeat, it's just like out of the gate. I didn't hear the build up. So I'm curious to have like the history of that build up. Anyway, let's get back to the music. Sorry for that yap session. Fucking amazing. All that just stems from the fact that like, holy shit, this is actually really amazing. It's really creative too. I really like the world that he's building sonically with this concept and everything. And it sounds like nothing I've ever heard fucking before. So props to you, man. Like... His first album was Up To Me. What the hell? I just looked that up. It was just out of the gate, big. This sounds sick.
All I wanna see is violence.
Oh.
Know how inside of my mind gets.
Also, Lil Wayne's gonna be sick. I wonder how he works with this beat and atmosphere.
I'm not surprised that I live this life. Could you do what I didn't do it twice? Could you make your money up and tell a lie? Could you come and say that bit in our name? Could you work around the clock all night? Yeah, could you work on the job all night? Could you work on the job all night? Yeah, all that money while your job so tight. And you almost lost your job tonight. This not breaking bread, I bring my motherfucking part. Yeah, I love the feeling when it's wrong, alright. You sick and twisted on my brain, alright. It's on autopilot, let it fly all night. But don't let it go crazy, don't let it turn into a lie. But don't get so damn crazy that it's stabbing with a knife. Like it with all the voices, you don't let them tell you lies. And you probably see a demon if you look me in the eyes.
This sounds fucking amazing.
You see my eyes bleeding. Oh, that bitch give me head, that bitch give me brain. I feel like a mind reader. Oh, look up, it's a bird, look up, it's a plane. No bitches.
I feel like Lil Wayne kind of suits this. I was surprised. Granted, I feel like Lil Wayne's like one of the most like versatile motherfuckers on the planet. He could just go on anything. Like I actually thought the Elephants to Peanuts sort of track was not the worst. And only Lil Wayne could make that alright.
Done demon time, all these diamonds I can't even see the time. Pockets they be on dinner time, Thanksgiving time, November slime. Judge always trying to give me time, give me fed time, and that's plenty time. And I ain't got time like the end of time. I kill a nigga like I'm killing time. It's me and Yeat was happening. Sick and twisted, he was bastards. Smoke a nigga with a matches, and let his mama have the ashes. Moolah.
All you wanna see is diamonds. All I wanna see is violence. You don't know how inside of my mind gets. Shut your mouth, close your eyelids.
Don't you join the world and you can never live a life. Don't it feel amazing when you playing with the spike? I know you feel crazy when you put it on your life. I know you getting lazy when you say you'd rather die. I know I'm getting lazy when I say I let it fly. Pulling with the Martians and they know I'm about to fly. I do this for my life.
All this money, it get trifling. But I'm trifling, cause I'm on bad time. But it's also perfect time. Make a silence to remind you of all the shit you said when I was behind you.
Pay price. I'm not surprised that I live this life. Could you do what I didn't do it twice? Could you make your money up and tell a lie? Could you come and say that bit in our name? Could you work around the clock all night? Yeah, could you work on the job all night? Could you work on the job all night? Yeah, all that money, why your job so tight? And you almost lost your job tonight. This not breaking bread, I bring my motherfucking part.
What a sick song. I'm bouncing between 8.5, 9. I want to give it a 9. Also, yeah, the track's so amazing. I feel like I've glazed Yeat quite a bit because this is the first feature. Lil Wayne's fucking goated, dude. Like, I've only heard the Carter 3, and my partner ended up getting really into Lil Wayne. So I've heard some snippets of the Carter 1 and 2. But it's just the idea that he's able to make all this shit, and until it was like pointed out to me, I didn't notice it too much. You can kind of tell, but like all this stuff's off the dome. Like he doesn't write his shit. I think from the Carter 2, I don't think he's written a song. I think it's always just gone in freestyled off the beat. And that one of my first artists that I like really loved, not one of the first actually, because I loved Linkin Park and Bring the Horizon and that sort of thing. But like one of the first hip hop artists I truly loved was Juice WRLD. And that was one of the things I was like, holy shit. That I didn't know about that, but I ended up loving his music. And then finding out it was freestyle, I'm like, oh wait, is that the reason why I like it? The same way that like I'm pretty sure a lot of Lil Peep's stuff, because he has such a vast vault, is more off the dome vibing onto the track. And there's something about the authenticity that oozes out when it comes to that I just really fucking love. And I think it's partially the reason why I love Lil Wayne. Like, I've listened to the Carter 3, and I need to listen to more of his stuff, so maybe there would be a project that I held in this high of regard. But like, I don't think Lil Wayne will ever have like a 10 out of 10 project for me. Might not even gonna have like a high 9, but I have an immense amount of respect for him because it's just something like the authenticity with him being able to freestyle everything. There's just something so uniquely talented with that I just fucking adore. Also, his cheeky little demeanor is so fucking cute and fun to like. I haven't uploaded it to YouTube, but it's on my Patreon. I will upload it to YouTube at some point. But I have a Carter 3 first time reaction, and bro, I was smiling ear to ear on that shit because he is just so fucking funny. He's just so fun to listen to. And which is why I found like the pairing kind of interesting going into this track, where it's like you have this like sort of serious like artsy project, and then you have Lil Wayne in it, and he kind of just, he's so versatile. He can just fit anything. Like you could, again, the Peanuts to Elephant beat. That's a crazy beat. You could even say it's bad. I think it has charm because it's stupid. But he jumps on that, and I genuinely think the Carter 6 is not that bad. Actually, that's the other album I've heard. I just kind of memory held the fact that I've heard that album. But he's not that bad on it. And it's just like, that beat should not work, and it only works as much as it does because Lil Wayne's on it, and it doesn't even work that much. But it goes to show how fucking goated Lil Wayne is, that he can jump on that, and it's not awful. Well, to me at least. I think other people are being a bit too mean. But yeah, what a fucking great album so far. And we're not even halfway through. I'm sorry I'm taking this long to get through it. I'm just a certified yapper.
I love when you rage with me. I love when you stay with me.
Oh, finally.
How long can you stand with me? How long can you stand for me?
I don't think you understand what we said to you. I'm on the drugs in the club.
I love when you show love, when you show love, when you show. I love.
This could get a bit repetitive.
I love when I go up, cause I go up here all the time. I love.
Is this the first dub?
In the crib, in the whip, on the down, and I'm flying, and I'm on the jet all the time. I'm a
Bro's
for the company, so your heart
becoming too J. Cole at the moment.
I see 2093 and fucking came back, yeah, every time. Yeah.
Very like,
Trying to tell you something, but you won't listen to mine.
flows.
And it's fine, it don't surprise me.
and like
But
not engaging.
I love it.
The production is engaging
I
though.
love when they hate on, I love it. I love it. I know you, man. I know you love it. I know you tryna listen to me, yeah, but I know you love it. I know you can't resist the temptations put in front of you. I know you tryna do this, so I show you. I know you need to cry, so here's a shoulder. I heard you tryna die, so here's a.
I really like that fucking like female vocal though.
I love when you rage with me.
Oh, building for me a bit. It just feels a bit too stunted. But I really like the vibe. If you just sat with it a bit more, I think it could be like a 9. I like how it's building though. It's growing to me to feel like it's good. I was gonna give it like a 5, 6 or something like that, but I think I'm gonna give it a 7 maybe.
I love out of town, in the crib, in the whip, on the down, and I'm flying, and I'm on the jet all the time. I'ma buy you for the company and say your hard work for it down. I seen 2093 and fucking came back, yeah, every time. Yeah, I'm trying to tell you something, but you won't listen to mine. And it's fine, it don't surprise me.
It's close to being good. I would say it's a decent track though. Do I like it more than Power Trip? I probably do. I have to re-listen to Power Trip in this track to see where it stands. If both of them deserve to be a tiny bit higher, or what's the go? The fucking, I don't know, the world that the music is building is just so sick. It's relatively rare for me. It's not like the same thing, but like MF Doom does it. But it's like the only person I can think about apart from like the cinematic sort of vibes of like Biggie or Kendrick. But that feels too traditional compared to this. To compare.
Push to a frame, I ain't gon' change. Tell me what else. Tell me, it's easier to scream.
Fuck.
I say straight to hell. I love hell. Hell on earth.
Oh my fucking god, dude.
As far as I can tell, get deeper than the well. I don't wish you well, but I don't give a fuck. Yeah, richer than the world. Got this no kind of money. You should see these new bills. You wouldn't know any better. I just put it all together. Send a note to a letter. Write my sins off. No blood better. Turn the wheel to the left. Right, not better. Go be fake, bitch. Yeah, being real's not better. I can tell a couple lies, yeah, you can tell misled them. Look me in the eyes. Don't tell me what you see. And I randomly tweak. I knock you off your feet. I've been out for weeks, it get easier for me. But don't tell me, go help yourself. You can go and die. Do what you want, I won't hold the gun. I won't hold a grudge. But imagine me there.
This fuck, it sounds so cool, dude. I love it. It kind of sounds like the noisy elements here kind of sound like a bit screamy, which I enjoy. Being a little metalcore head myself.
I don't need to see, I don't need to hear. I don't wanna talk to you, yeah. I don't want you near. I never would care. Say life ain't fair. It's fair enough to me. I'ma let you feel free.
This is just fucking incredible, dude. If I listened to 24 albums a shit ton, this would be on my top albums list for that year for 100%. It'd be hard to top this. It's just so good.
That's cool. I'm gonna break your part and feed the fish for food. We'll live in it, don't live on the moon. I guess 2093 is not for you. What do I need from you? Do I need things? I wish you feel like you feel like me. I wish you could see like you see. It's more like this, more like this, more like this, more like this. And I tell you that now, tell you that now, tell you that now. I want you to feel, I want you to feel. Everything is new, everything is new.
Ooh, nice little pretty moment.
He the one can't live forever. Yeah, I was born to live forever.
Oh, I love the mechanical feeling of like the stuff in the background here. Dude, this is so sick.
I'ma let you cry. I'ma let you die.
I don't understand, like, with how well produced all this shit is.
It's more that you see.
I don't get some of the ratings. That's
Pay
gone.
more just to feel clean on the sheets. Falling down for weeks. History repeats.
Like, I don't know if this is actually bad to say, considering I am going to write some reviews for some publications, and I'm young, I'm just starting out, so I have no idea where it's going to lead, so maybe this is not good to say publicly, but how the fuck did Pitchfork give this 5.8? I also understand Pitchfork, notoriously, they're meant to be a bit dickish. I understand that. I also understand that I've seen some ratings by them that are actually fucking boneheaded. Like, Tools Lateralist being rated 1.9. Genuinely, no possible explanation for a publication to ever give that rating to that album. It would be like giving... What's, like, another incredibly produced album that's, like, the best in its field? I don't know if this is too crazy to say, but it's... I guess you could kind of say... maybe... giving, like, a Miles Davis classic a fucking 1.9. It's like, alright, you're meant to be... how? I don't understand it. Or whatever. But they gave 5.8 to this, which feels unreasonably low. Considering the fact that the production is sick, like, genuinely fucking, like, really good. And it's very creative. I don't know what's gone wrong on the album for you to give it a 5.8. Granted, that's not too egregious, I guess. It's like, you're not saying it's a shit album, you're just saying it's just a bit above average. But I still don't, like, I don't understand how some, like, the critic rating on Album of the Year is a fucking 6. I don't get that. Funnily enough, it takes a bald boy Fantano to give it an 8, and that motherfucker hates anything that's similar to this. I think his highest rating is a 5 out of 10 for all of Lil Uzi Vert's catalogs. Most of them are 3 out of 10s. Crazy work. I haven't even listened to Lil Uzi Vert, but I know that's crazy work. With how influential he's been, there is no way when I get to those albums, I'm going to be like, yeah, it's a 2. Like, it's just not going to happen. But yeah, it's just crazy. Like, I feel like this should be lauded more positively. I wonder if, like, it's going to have, I don't know how, I wasn't there really. I wonder how, like, I don't know how loved Rodeo was on release, but I wonder if it's going to have a bit of that reception where, like, over time, let's say in like 10, 15 years, you'll see the music rating websites boost this up a lot more because it is a bit more of a newer sound, and like a newer spin on the stuff that he's taking influence from. So I wonder if it's going to have that sort of thing. Because if you look at Rodeo, that shit is rated so high. I think it's like a top 100 album of the year or some shit, which I disagree with. But I wonder if this album is going to have a similar sort of reception in the future. It's just fucking so good. It's very cinematic feeling too. I like it.
Yeah, fuck off. Can't be mad that I'm well off. Can't be mad that I did this shit. Can't be mad that I told this bitch.
You a dumb motherfucker. You a dumb motherfucker. You a dumb motherfucker. You a dumb motherfucker. You not fool but know a man can fit. Shit, why you always talking shit? Cause no Balenciaga's kinda fit. I just made the whole world my bitch. I'm trying to see how much I can fit. I don't like to talk, I plead the fifth.
And I'm praying that you make one wrong move. There's no telling what I might or might not do. Heard you say you won't fall, you won't be.
This is sounding a lot more like Travis. But still a lot, right?
You say, yeah. How could I make it up to you? I say, you can't. Just get the fuck away from me.
And it's more than that, and it's more than this. I'm just trying to imagine all the times I piss. I'm just trying to imagine why you do that shit, but I couldn't imagine it. And it's nowhere I'd rather be. On the beach with a tragedy. And she called me your majesty. Making movies appear so magically. Yeah. And it said what you wouldn't do. And it said to look back on what you wouldn't do. And it said, but I'm glad that you had your fun on it. But I'm bad for the things I said and the things I want on it.
I do like the sound of it, but it does feel like a bit slow. A bit like something like I guess I love it. But it doesn't have the same like atmosphere as I love. I like this part. The way he uses distortion across this record is really nice. I like how like poignant it is. This is some of the like best production I've heard from this field, for sure. And not just like in a polished mainstream sort of way, just like creatively too.
Psychopath. I admit every time I cried and laughed. I remember the times we used to have. I remember the nights we used to have. Even remember times when there was bad. Even remember times we never had. I could see out between the lines that you said that you wouldn't do, and times that you said that you come but you never do. And planes that they fly, yeah they fly till they never do. We crash and we burn, turn the page or another to go back and do things that we said that we never do. I say oh God, but I never knew. I like to fly, yeah, I like to fly field. Yeah, I already died, I already tried to fuel. Yeah, don't be surprised.
Also, it's like, I don't know, it's hard. I don't know if I prefer this track. I almost certain that Power Trip is going to rank a bit lower than these two. I'll give it a 7 for now. Just put that in your mind if you want to come over to the Discord to see how I end up rating those afterwards when I'm listening to these multiple times over. Those are going to be ones where I'm going to mull over it a bit, because I do like a lot of the atmosphere of I Love, but it feels a bit more stunted. This one feels a bit less stunted, but it doesn't have the same level of atmosphere. So, going to figure it out. But I still think it's pretty good. We're on a good high, overall. I really like this key. It's quite pretty. Ooh. I knocked my mic. Sorry about that. I like this guitar.
We live like this, like we ain't give a fuck about these motherfuckers, no, we know.
Ooh. I like how they're crashing.
I don't need money, but I got money, that's all I know. We live like better shit. 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 No, I don't like to breathe. No, I don't like to see. I like to close myself off. I like to keep my dust off this. When you live this life like a futurist motherfucker, you ain't never got a lot of shit. With motherfuckers, you ain't never got a lot of shit. Talk to this motherfucker, you ain't got a lot. I ain't live a lot of life this, sit here, sit down, talk to these motherfuckers. I don't even know nobody, bitch. From a damn fuck. We see how this shit, they keep pushing. I know about the shit, they keep pushing. I don't fuck nobody, I don't nobody. I don't need nobody, I need nothing.
I can see why this is like, I wouldn't be surprised if, I can see why it's screamed less, and I can also see why on Album of the Year it seems to be rated a bit less, but I don't think it's all too valid. Like, it is a lot more of an interlude style track, which makes me think, like, should I even rate it? Because I don't really rate interludes because my album ratings are based off of the track averages, right? And interludes never feel like they reach the same heights as actual tracks that put effort into it. So I don't know, I'll figure it out afterwards. But I would say this is like a 6.5, 7. I really like one of the aspects of this album that I think is really cool is obviously there's a lot of experimentation with different genres and that sort of thing, but there's also like different instruments where if you go to like some underground rage stuff, how do I say it? It's like there is a scope, because if you are on producer suite, you have like all the instruments at your disposal basically, but there is a typical just type of distortion, typical type of instruments that people are using when they make beats most of the time. And on this one, it feels really cool. Like you have like this guitar, which feels pretty unique in this sort of context. Like you don't really hear that sort of thing in a more underground setting. And then you also have like, you'll have a piano, and then you have some horns and some stuff. The idea of like thinking a bit more creatively outside of the box, and also if the way he makes it fit into the world is interesting to me, because this like futuristic blend, if you have it makes sense to use more industrial electronic sort of stuff because that's what we associate with future, but to use for these more like traditional things like the horns that kind of sound a bit jazzy in some regards, to use these like more traditional motifs. Fuck mate, I'm about to sneeze. I sneezed. Yeah, all right. To use all these more like traditional sounds to be able to incorporate this like world that is more futuristic is a very interesting like out of the box sort of thinking to be able to to make the beats. I really like, I just have such a respect for this album, even if it doesn't like end up rating as one of the highest rated albums of all time for me. I have such a deep appreciation for this, and if someone said like what's the best rage album, as much as I think rating wise it's Half Blood or Revenge Seekers, I might just say, actually Revenge Seekers probably stays the same if you consider rage, but if you don't consider that, I'd probably be like 2093 is probably the best, like the greatest. The highest rated is probably different to, like, if we're playing semantics, highest rated is probably a bit different. It's probably the best. But, like, the greatest Rage album, I would say maybe this. I know a lot of people would put To a Whole Lot of Red. I think it has a bit of a bloated feel, which this album could get to, for sure. But I feel like the atmosphere of the album is just so good, and the concept and, like, the cohesion of everything. Even if there's, like, some tracks that aren't as good as the other ones, I'm still happy to be in this world for longer, if that makes sense. So it doesn't feel as there would be as much bloat here. Granted, we're only halfway through, but yeah. Ryan set it off like 2 tracks in a 2.5 minutes. So far, this feels like maybe my least favorite on the album, but I still like the ambition of like there's like this the cinematic feel behind it. I still appreciate that, but it feels like another example of what I've sped on a lot of Rage albums, where like when listening to like underground artists, a 6 out of 10 for an underground artist is so much more entertaining than a 6 out of 10 from like a mainstream artist. And as much as this is delving more into like a mainstream sort of lane, it still has that sort of charm to it that like, as much as I give this like a 6.5, and it might even go a tiny bit low on re-listens, like I appreciate listening to this than like a 6 out of 10 Mumford & Sons song. Because I don't know, it feels a bit more daring or something like that. Like, I don't know. Again, like, it's so many different ways of like doing interesting sounds, but they all sound so cohesive together, which makes like what I was talking about with like the executive producer is like he has like a crazy mind for like macro scale to make sure that everything cohesively works together. It's like that.
I can see the future with one eye. I'm a little though, I got one life. I got way too much money, I don't care about the price. Yeah, I'm not trying, I don't try to die. Yeah, might have tried once, way too many experts, ever one album. Yeah, I'm a futuristic Al Capone. Don't try to talk to me, say your own. And when I get this shit at first, it's like fitting out that Porsche up inside a purse. Instead of blessing a curse, I just did it first. I could ruin your life, make it a lot worse. We were doing shit that you never heard. I got new shit, I ain't finna word. I be living life that you never heard of. I got $1 billion money living inside a turtle. That mean you can't get in. That mean you can't fit in with the ghost of this motherfucking shit. Yeah, I done heard a lot of shit, yeah. I heard it from my fucking spaceship, huh? You thinking all that shit, but you don't say shit, huh? How you saying all that shit, but you ain't said shit? How you doing all this shit, but you ain't tried yet? How you make a lot of money, but you ain't die yet? You ain't live like us, you ain't flying. It's 2093 on the. It's 2093 when you live like me. Then it's 2093, then I hope they just see it. I've made every guy cry. Do you live a lot? Do you live a lot? I know what happens when you die. Do you know what happens when you die? I can see the future with one eye. I'm a little though, I got one life. I got way too much money, I don't care about the price. Yeah, I'm not trying, I don't try to die. Yeah, might have tried once, way too many experts, ever one album. Yeah, I'm a futuristic Al Capone. Don't try to talk to me, say your own. And when I get this shit at first, it's like fitting out that Porsche up inside a purse. Instead of blessing a curse, I just did it first. I could ruin your life, make it a lot worse. We were doing shit that you never heard.
I'm so glad that like the faults of like Power Trip didn't become like a mainstay of this project. Holy fuck, my hair's crazy. Because like most of the tracks have really stuck with like one idea that it's trying to complete. I really appreciate it because it ends up making for like quite great shit. I also saw that 2093 is like the lowest rated track, so I'm curious why people hate it so much. Because usually self-titled tracks for an album end up being pretty fucking great because it's like built around that. Is this Rage's Kid A? Raised by the beach, 2093 free. When you live like God, when you live like God, when you live like God, you get things mixed up, you get things mixed up. Bitch drinking a cup, you get days mixed up, get guys mixed up. I'm spinning, I'm spinning. I don't see like a massive issue yet. The vocals here are a bit shaky, but like, I don't know. This reminds me of something. The way they use like the drums. And those vocals. It's not like 808s and Heartbreak or anything, but like it reminded me of something. Like the drums kind of sounded, I guess, a bit like Love Like Down drums, but their vocals were a bit different. I actually quite like this. Shoot me. Is it like, I kind of think it's good. Like, I don't see the haters much. Like, it does sound a bit muffled compared to the other stuff, but like, I feel like they've been playing with distortion and stuff like that quite a bit. So I don't see it as like an objective but awful thing. It's a bit repetitive too, I guess, but I quite like it. Like the farty sound. I put that shit together for a job. If I'm not making money, then I got me someone drowse. I feel like Future would kill this shit. I'm not gonna lie. I just listened to Monster yesterday, so I didn't know he was on this, but I'm happy to listen to it. I put that shit together for a job. I put this shit together like some puzzle pieces. You ain't live what I live. You ain't did what I did. You ain't put this shit together and stand on the shit you did. How you running from Saliza? Said you already fucking did. You say you standing on this shit, but all we see you do is sit, boy. Sit. Yeah, 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 yeah. Sit. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sit. Like a mutt. Yeah, yeah. Sit. You a bitch. You ain't got this. Ooh, I like how it's building. It's the King Tonka, King World, billionaire bitch. You can suck my dick. I don't give no fucks about this shit. I don't give one fuck, not two fuck, not three fucks, not six. Yeah, I'm with the boy in the six. Oh, these like alarm sort of sounds, like security sounds, like the beeps in here. That's just, I love it. I put that shit together for a job. I put that shit together for a job. If I'm not making money, then I got me someone drowse. If I'm not at the top, then I won't do it at all. Big tanks, big guns, big trucks, zombies. Yeah, with some big mutts and big doggies. I put that shit together for a job. I put this shit together like some puzzle pieces. Shorty been taking them perks, got his mind, he ready to click. Shorty been taking them pills, he ready to go spurge, like a big old trick. Shorty been wiping Oscar 730, been on 10. Shorty been catching bodies and killed this man, he ready to go spin. Shorty, switch blend in on truck, made us all friend on truck. Future feels interesting on this. Like, he doesn't fit as much as I thought he would, but it's still not bad. I thought he would have more of like a mic presence, like be close to the mic, like more detail in his voice. It like fits the vibe, but I expected it to be more of a presence. It's been a week since this your option must be folding. They say it's my fault if you fall out on the coding. I'm just a rich ass junkie, I might OD. I done fucked around and hit that coke, it make my nose bleed. I put this shit together like John shit. I put that shit together. I don't know, like I usually love Future stuff, but I'm not a massive fan of his stuff here. Big tanks, big guns, big trucks, zombies, with some big mutts, like, I think the track is better without Future. Like, I think Future's like the weakest point on this for me, which is odd because I usually just love Future's inclusion. He's kind of like a mini Lil Wayne in that way for me. But everything else about that track was quite great. I will say, I think it is getting a tiny bit bloaty. I go tick for tack, I go blink for get. You a fat ass rat, you go chip for chat. I go everything, I go pop and rap. If you try as kid, we get you double smack. I'm fuck with not nothing, I don't even know nobody. I'm fuck with nobody, not nothing.
like Driz, it's all a blur. That shit for all the dogs on the earth. I fuck with no pussy cats, they get on my nerves. My diamond do activities, they could be fucking surfing. They could be
Wait, where is he from?
be fucking urchins.
Because he has like only southern hip hop artists.
Fucking urgent. Number one worldwide.
California. That's so interesting.
We ain't never had the best.
Like it feels very much like he has Lil Wayne, a future feature.
We ain't get this shit.
With California, you could.
We'll get this
That's
shit. Go
interesting.
take that shit out to the press. When you get the money, yeah, shit go around the world. Know you look the diamonds, ain't trying to see the pearls. And don't mix it up, I double back and then I swirl. Bought a brand new crib, this shit gon' sit out where I million for million. Building for building, billion for bill, like familiar. Million for million, building for building.
This gets a bit repetitive, but it's petering out a tiny bit, which makes me a bit sad because like holy fuck, did it grab me by the horns straight away. Like it's not bad by any means. Like I still think it's like solidly good, but it's like we haven't had like that many amazing moments for a while. But I like these little passages. Like there's nice textures here, but we haven't had a tell me moment in a while. Ooh, the clarity in this production is really nice. Like it sounds really high quality.
We go back for back, we go back for back on bloodness. We go back for back, we go back for back on bloodness. We go back for back, we go back for back on bloodness. We go back for back, we go back for blood on Christmas. Call me Mr. In Between it, cause everything I said about that shit I didn't mean it. I put a fork right in between it. I fucked it up before I dreamed it. When you say you wouldn't kick it, unless you did it back. When you say you wouldn't do the things you did it back. When you do the shit you say you're not supposed to shoot rat. I don't fuck with none of that shit, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you, you can have it back. I don't fuck with you.
This sounds more clear, but like again, it's not the same level of wow to me just yet. I wonder how the speed switch that I expect to come up will sound. It sounds really nice though. That's a cool touch, like the dropping of the keys. Ooh.
Now I do the best. Now I feel like the best. Now I feel like the best. Now I feel like the best. Got an S on my chest. Got an S on my chest. Got it right on my wrongs. Got to put it in the song. Got to send it to the moon. Got to put it on the moon. Got to take the fucking room. Lot of in the fucking room. Bogus in the fucking room. Fuck what you assume. Call it the fucking label. Tell them put it on the jet.
It's getting pretty great now.
I can do the Tokyo, did an album in a week for the best. I can put a video, I can put a video. Could you put a fit down? I can put 400, I can drop 500, I can drop 600.
The cinematic touches on this album is so nice. It makes it feel like a truly like a piece of art and like an experience. I like it.
We go back for back on bloodness. We go back for back. We go back for back on bloodness. We go back for back. We go back for blood on Christmas.
I'd say it's a pretty great track.
Call me Mr. In Between it, cause everything I said about that shit I didn't mean it.
I wonder if this will get a higher rating than Rodeo. I have Rodeo as like a 7.5, I think. on re-listens. The reaction for Roto should be out by this point. The rating I have on the top right of that video is what I felt on the first listen.
I took a lot so long, I forgot. Yeah, 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 I'm a god. Why? I'm a god. Ooh, I know you, man. You love him disrespectful. Don't you love that I got condoms?
I like how menacing this beat is.
I could say you something that you never thought you knew. Yeah, I could say you peace, but I could kill it too. Watch, and they watch, and I know they load it up before they do it on that spot. And these numbers on the spot. Before you talk to me again, I do a lot. Yeah, why you talk a lot? Oh my God, why you talk to me so much? Yeah, oh my God, I try to take you seriously, but I laugh a lot. I can say your home, yeah, I can say your lies. Yeah, I look between the lines. Yeah, look me in the eyes. Tell me that you fucking God, I tell you lies. I'm the only one of them that's no despise.
I'd say it's like a mixture between like, I like it more than the 7 out of 10 tracks that we've been listening to, but it's still on the same level as In Between It for me. It is getting a bit repetitive, but like there's still like a nice atmosphere here. The other tracks didn't reach to the same level.
I'm a god. Oh, I know you, man. You love him disrespectful. Don't you love that I got condos out up on the moon? I could say you something that you never thought you knew. Yeah, I could say you peace, but I could kill it too. Watch, and they watch, and I know they load it up before they do it on that spot. And these diamonds on the spot. Before you talk to me again, I do a lot. Yeah, why you talk a lot? Oh my God, why you talk to me so much? Yeah, oh my God, I try to take you seriously, but I laugh a lot. I can say your home, yeah, I can say your lies. Yeah, I look between the lines. Yeah, look me in the eyes. Tell me that you fucking God, I tell you lies. I'm the only one of them that's no despise.
I feel like on re-listens this one might go down a tiny bit. I think it probably will, so I'll preemptively give it the 7. But I do think I might like it more than the other 7s, probably. This kind of has like an in between it sort of vibe with like the quality coming through.
I don't like surprises at all. Just got off that $1 billion car. So the coach to put me in cause I'm just trying to ball. I go up in every season, even in the fall. I won't talk about them, I just cut them off. But they love to talk about me, love to run their mouth. Yeah, you love to run your mouth.
It's crazy that he came up with this and was able to execute it. Like, how quick was the turnaround?
If you're talking to a girl, keep it short and quick.
He had a fucking project every year. This is kind of crazy.
I got 4 rings, 4 albums, bitch, I'm out. I was alive for 4L, but it's up to me for after now. You ready? You need to take a break before you pass out.
He gets a project out every year.
When I'm walking in this bitch, I feel like Stevie Wonder. I can't see nobody can see me. But everything I do is done in 3D. After everything I did, I know they need me. I don't ever wish them well, I just hope they bleed. Yeah, I just hope they bleed. My body feeding for some dopamine. Yeah, I always talk about I ain't heard a thing. You always talk behind that fucking screen. They told me you gon' do your fucking thing. Get your money up, bitch, you can't fuck with me. 100 birds, not a fucking dog. You a scrub, you swept down the road. Yeah, you feel like fuck on it. Yeah, I don't need no love, I just need a tub. I just need my drug. I'm fucked up and I fucked up on them. When you level up, you get the money like it's Hollywood. And when you get that money, when you come up out that. When you level up, you get that money like it's Hollywood. And when you get surprised with this shit, wait. I don't like surprises at all. Just got off that $1 billion car. So the coach to put me in cause I'm just trying to ball. I go up in every season, even in the fall. I won't talk about them, I just cut them off. But they love to talk
It doesn't,
about me.
it feels, I don't know, it feels a tiny bit more stagnant than in between it.
You ain't said shit.
I still like the sound a lot.
Do it, but you never did. If you talking to a girl, keep it short and quick. I'm busy living out this life that you'll never live. And y'all dick sucking, take my bars at your mouth. I got 4 rings, 4 albums, bitch, I'm out.
Might go even up this time.
For 4L, but it's up to me for after now. You ready? You need to take
Nice
breath
bar.
before you pass out. Yeah, any diamonds on when I'm walking in it, bitch, I feel like Stevie Wonder. I can't see nobody, nobody can see me. But everything I do is that in 3D. After everything I did, I know they need me. I don't ever wish them well, I just hope they bleed. Yeah, I just hope they bleed. My body feeding for
It's really interesting that like, this is a very long project, especially for like a rage sort of style project. To get to like an hour 10 and it doesn't feel too lengthy is a really good feat. I haven't really had that before. I don't think. Actually, let me check out what was up to me. This is like 15 minutes longer than up to me, and I don't think it feels that way for me. Ooh, this sounds really nice. The clarity.
I had a little off.
Ooh.
Yeah, I had to cut a bill off. Yeah, but if we be real though, yeah, no, I don't never feel nothing.
Oh my lord.
Jump in the gun, yeah, like I do it for fun. You act like you do it for real, but no, you not when the vibe.
This track has to be one of the streamed ones, right? Yep. I can tell which is how fucking amazing it sounded.
No, I won't pick it because I don't like it at all. I can't want to see you fall.
It's like kind of close to a perfect track. Sort of similar to like Breathing That Way. It's cool that they're still like single quality
I could draw ties in this
in a
bitch.
project so
Ties
conceptual.
in this bitch. I cut ties in this bitch. I'll cut ties in your face. Yeah, cut you like a lace. Nothing I do could be replaced. That's why I'm living out in space. I take the money to another level. I take the plane to another level. I take the highest to a new level. I take it high to a new level.
This is like the type of track I was looking forward to ever since Tell Me.
I ain't into making change. I'ma stay the same. Bring it to my level. If we be real, I don't know how to feel.
Could be my favorite on the album.
I've been overseas, you've been on your knees. No, you begging, please. It's nothing left to see, nothing left to feel. Why you in the field?
Can't say, I'll give it a 9, but if I'm being honest, this could be like a 10. It feels like a perfect track for this sound.
Always clash your heads, yeah, when somebody think they know better. Who the fuck is you? Got better things to do. I don't got time to waste. I just need my space. It's a couple things that I can't feel, but I can't feel my face. It's a couple things that I wish I could, but I can't replace. I think it's a sickness, being so selfish here. I'm in need of a witness. They always tell me, never forget this. I forget everything. I don't even know all my tidbits. And I'll change everything. I don't know how to top this.
There's been, oh, this also sounds really pretty. Oh, what a great way to end it. Because like it has been in a bit of like a more stagnant mode. I liked the atmosphere of the album, so it didn't bother me too much. But like, so it's really nice that he did put like some of the highlights at the end. It didn't just peter out. It makes it's easier to stomach like the more bloated tracks because of it.
Even if it's for the night, you wish you could bust down and live this section your whole life. You know that feeling that you say you hate.
Oh, I love this.
Everything great I push away. Ask an alien to show it away. And I'm not in front of serve, I can't stay. Yeah, I wish I could stay. I wish I could stay. I feel so great.
His voice is so fucking good, dude.
I could take it away. It's all inside of my head, but it's all out of my control. And it's something that I hear my soul saying. So I'ma let it take me overboard. If you try to tell me something I didn't like, if you
Who produced these two tracks, dude?
like, if you keep on telling me a fucking lie.
Also, it's crazy this doesn't get as many streams. Rex.
Keep on playing with my fucking time if you're chasing that warm feeling inside.
Wait, is that completely different people?
Playing both sides, I'm fucking tired of you. You was schizophrenic, I realize it's not of you.
That's so sick. The executive producing on this is actually fucking incredible.
And I realized he could handle none of this
Like,
shit,
this
so
is
I'ma
one of my
keep
favorite tracks on the album for sure. What a fucking amazing album, dude. Like, I know the rating won't be a 9 out of 10, so it's not going to be amazing overall, whatever try average, but like,
I'ma take it to the end. Take it to the end. Push it to the end.
I have like an affinity for this project.
You waiting over your head.
My love for it is greater than what the rating will end up being, but like a decent margin.
So I'ma take it to the end. But I can't be a friend. Try to sell you the other way. That's the way of them, man.
What a fucking good project, dude. Yeah, as I said, like, the creativity that's on display, I did not think he had, like, a creative mind. What the fuck is this? Is this the deluxe? Part 2? There's only 2 more tracks. I'm not gonna do it. Maybe I should. I'm not gonna do it now. It's already a long reaction. But, yeah, what I was talking about with, his... I did not know that he had this in his bag, where he would be able to make such, like, a creative, immersive concept album and atmosphere. It's really fucking cool, and it makes me wonder, because, like, Dangerous Summer was, like, is an EP. It was kind of chill, like, small and chill. I wonder what his, next projects are going to be like. Apparently, Lyfestyle exists. Is that anywhere near as good as this? Because I feel fucking hour and 2 minutes. Jesus Christ, you dropped a double album, like 2 albums that were your like biggest. Holy shit, bro! It was going off in 2024, probably 2023 as well. But yeah. I'm so curious to see where he ends up going, because I feel like if he's able to put his mind to it, he can make some even more interesting shit. And I have a lot more respect for Yeat now. It's not just like, he doesn't feel like an artist that's like a bit of a fad that has potential. It's like he's realized the potential to the point where it's like, you don't just have future prospects, and that's the reason why I'm excited. It's like, no, you've made shit that is now worthy of the praise that you were getting for your potential, sort of thing. Very fucking good. If you enjoyed watching this reaction, by the way, watching is more than enough, but if you want to support further, you can go to my Patreon. It's $5 a month. You can request an album that's 50 minutes or less, or you can request a classic album, which is on the list of 360 albums that I want to do that's classic. If it's Yeat, I can bend the rules a tiny bit. If it's a 55-minute album, I'll allow to do it, sure. Especially because the Yeat fans have been absolutely crazy. It's just there so I can get to my requests in a timely fashion, because I am a full-time uni student. I'm doing the equivalent of 50 hours a week for units at the moment, so it's a bit harder to get to my requests. But yeah, if you want to go there, you can request that. 2 Alive is not requested. Lifestyle is not requested. Afterlife, it hasn't been requested yet. Alive, 4L, I'm So Me, Wake Up Call, Life, Trendy, Hold On, We Us, Different Creature, Deep Blue Strips, all of those are unrequested at this point of time in that I'm recording. So if you want those albums to be done, you can head over to the Patreon and request it with your $5 request. Thank you guys so much for watching. I absolutely love you guys. You fans have been fucking phenomenal. If you are new to my channel, my life, in a weird way, it sounds very dramatic, but my life kind of changed a bit from mid-December to now. Rage fans have just been absolutely crazy supportive. So as soon as they came to the channel, I had like 700 subs, and now I'm at like 4.3k or something like that at the moment. My Patreon went from like $50 a month maybe to like now making like 600, which is, I make 300 a week normally, because I'm on student welfare, because I'm working 50 hours a week. So the money really helps, and like having this as kind of just like a part-time job is really nice. I really appreciate it because I love doing this, and if this can be like a part-time job, like if I get another part-time job once I'm graduated, this would give me so much, like this is just going to give me so much joy, and I really appreciate it. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I love you guys. Thank you. Peace.